welcome back to But First Coffee, where life begins after coffee. In my last battle of the drugstore beauty products, I asked you guys what you would like me to battle out next. Matte foundations, blusher, bronzers, and matte foundations was the very clear winner. So that is what I'm here today to battle out for you guys. But if you chose blusher, bronzers, do not dismay. I have that battle coming for you in the future. Quickly before we jump into this battle, if you're new to my battles or you're new to my channel, hey! Hi, come on in. We're glad you're here. Can I make you a snack? Do you want a drink? Do you want a glass of wine? I have this really fancy wine. Nothing says fancy like wine in a box. Let me tell you something. I can't really get it to you through the screen. So, I'll just drink this one for you, because I don't want it to go to waste. Hey, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more of my videos. But now let me introduce you to the contenders for this battle of the drugstore foundations matte round. We are going to be battling out Rimmel's Stay Matte, Maybelline's Fit Me Matte and Poreless, L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, NYX Stay Matte Not Flat, and finally we have Neutrogena's Shine Control Makeup. This isn't specifically a matte foundation. I went to like 3 drugstores and an Ulta trying to find a 5th matte foundation from the drugstore and I couldn't find one. So I figured this was sort of like the closest one that would kind of fit into that category. A little side note before we jump into this battle, if you are not new to my channel, you might know that I do have drier skin. So just keep in mind as I give you my thoughts and opinions about these foundations that this is coming from somebody who has normal to drier skin. But without further ado, let's jump into Battle of the Drugstore Foundations, Round 3, Matte Foundations. First into the ring, we have NYX's Stay Matte Not Flat. This costs $8 and claims to be full coverage with all-day wear. This foundation was kind of just mediocre from the beginning for me. It applies okay, but you can tell almost immediately that it sticks to dry patches, it settles into fine lines, and I don't think that I would necessarily classify this as full coverage. It didn't really hold up that well on my skin either throughout the day. It just kind of fell apart and I didn't really care for the way that it looked throughout the day. I really love a lot of NYX products, but I will just say I've never liked any of their foundations or BB creams, so this one just kind of fits into that same category. It was just not so great, kind of a loser for me. Next up, we have Maybelline's Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This costs about $8 as well and claims to diminish the look of pores while also being specially designed to absorb oil so that it'll give you a nice matte look throughout the day. It applies quite nicely in medium coverage. It really does give the skin a nice matte look and a very smooth look without feeling dry or cakey. It wears reasonably well throughout the day as well. My only complaint is that it does stick to my dry patches, making them a little more prominent throughout the day, but I can't exactly hold it against this foundation because this one clearly states that it is for normal to oily skin. Our third contender in this battle is L'Oreal's Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. It costs $13 and claims to be a 24-hour foundation with a demi-matte finish and an air-light texture. I was definitely the most excited to try out this foundation. I feel like it's just had the most hype around it and it definitely has rave reviews. But I have to say that I was just a little bit disappointed with this foundation. At first application, it was pretty good, but no matter how I wear this foundation, it broke apart on my skin throughout the day, making it look cakey and blotchy on my skin, not the way you want foundation to look. I feel like I gave it a really adequate shot. I tried it with primers, I tried it with powder, I tried it with setting sprays, and out of I feel like all of the things that foundation can do, breaking apart on the skin and sort of looking blotchy and cakey is like the worst thing that foundation can do. It may just be my skin type, I don't really know, but this foundation was a loser for me. I was really disappointed in the way that this wore throughout the day. Our fourth contender into the ring is the Rimmel Stay Matte. This is a mousse foundation and it costs a mere $5, being the cheapest foundation in this battle by at least $3. It claims to offer a soft, natural look that is going to help control shine. Firstly, I will say this is definitely a full coverage foundation, not necessarily natural as they claim. It is very thick and applies to full coverage in pretty much the first application. However, for being so full coverage, it actually is really comfortable on the skin. It's somewhat soft looking and I think the finish is really pretty. I think this gives a really beautiful full coverage matte look without feeling cakey, without looking dry or feeling dry in the skin. The staying power on this foundation out of all of these matte foundations for me was definitely definitely the most on fleek. So overall, if you're looking for a beautiful full coverage matte foundation, I highly suggest this one. Last up is Neutrogena's Shine Control Foundation, the one foundation in this group that is not technically matte. It costs $14 and it claims that it has 8-hour shine control and a lightweight breathable formula. The Neutrogena Healthy Skin Foundation is one of my favorite foundations, so I definitely had high hopes for this one. But in application, it was almost immediately apparent this foundation was not going to fare well with dry skin. It made any dryness look pretty much worse right away. It also stuck to fine lines. The stain power was also mediocre, and it did start to lose its hold after the 3rd or 4th hour. This could possibly work well if you have oily skin and you're looking for really great shine control. It didn't work well for my dry skin, nor did it have the kind of stain power that I am looking for. So there you have it, guys, all 5 of these matte foundations duking it out in the ring. So let's talk about winners. As I always tell you in these battles, my winner is not necessarily your winner. What I want is different than what you want. What my skin type is like is different than your skin type. So let me know in the comments down below definitely which one is the winner for you, or if you've tried any of these and really love them, let us know in the comments down below. But I have to tell you my winner, that is how these battles work. So obviously we can lose the NYX Stay Matte Not Flat. We can also lose the Neutrogena Shine Control. This one didn't do it for me. The L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, also, I am just so surprised that I didn't like it. This had some of the highest reviews on a lot of the sites I looked at. I was so excited to try this foundation. I'll have to say that that leaves the Rimmel and the Maybelline. As far as a more like everyday, daytime, lighter weight foundation, I really liked the Maybelline Fit Me. But I think if I had to pick my absolute favorite, I would have to go with the Rimmel one. Although this is a more full coverage foundation, and I don't wear full coverage foundations most days, I usually save those for nighttime or if I'm doing something that's like YouTube or blog related. As far as just all of these foundations, if I was going to want to use one again, I would pick this one. I thought it gave the most beautiful look. I thought it had the best staying power. I thought it had a beautiful matte finish, and it didn't stick to dry patches. It didn't exaggerate fine lines or pores, so this one for me is just gonna have to be the winner. Alright guys, that is the end of this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like my battles. I really appreciate you stopping by and watching, and I will see you all in my next video.